President Donald Trump has said he believes the US will gain control of Greenland after showing renewed interest in acquiring the autonomous Danish territory in recent weeks. Trump said, "I think we are going to have it," adding that the island's 57,000 residents want to be with us. His comments come after reports that Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen insisted Greenland was not for sale in a fiery phone call with President Trump. Trump floated the prospect of buying the vast Arctic territory during his first term in 2019 and has said US control of Greenland is an absolute necessity for international security. "I think the people want to be with us," Trump said. He added, "I don't really know what claim Denmark has to it, but it would be very unfriendly act if they didn't allow that to happen because it's for the protection of the free world. I think Greenland we will get because it has to do with freedom of the world." Trump continued, "It has nothing to do with the United States other than that we are the one that can provide the freedom they can't." Despite Trump's apparent confidence, the Prime Minister of Greenland and Denmark have both previously said the island is not for sale. Greenland's Prime Minister Mette said the use of the territory's land was Greenland's business, though he expressed a willingness to work more closely with the US on defense and mining. Meanwhile, Danish Premier Frederiksen said earlier last month that Greenland belongs to the Greenlanders and that only the local population can determine its future. According to a report in the Financial Times, Frederiksen reasserted position in a heated 45-minute phone exchange with Trump last month. Before I proceed, I encourage you to like the video and share your views on the topic in the comment section below. Your feedback is invaluable for us and a wider audience around the world. An anonymous European official told the Financial Times that the leaders' conversation was horrendous, and another official said Trump's interest in acquiring Greenland was serious and potentially very dangerous. The Danish Prime Minister reportedly insisted the island was not for sale but noted Trump's big interest in it. The island has wide-ranging autonomy. However, it remains part of the Kingdom of Denmark, but Greenland's general consensus is that it will eventually become independent, which could pave the way for a new kind of relationship with the US. President Trump's claim that the people of Greenland want to be with us may come as a surprise to some of the island's residents. But why Trump want to buy Greenland? Why is Greenland important for the US? Trump's proposal to buy Greenland makes more sense if one understands the history of the Arctic. Buying the island would aim to counter Russian and Chinese ambitions to determine a regional critical to Washington. It would only be the latest chapter in a long history of the US and during its existence. The Soviet Union purchased land across the Arctic in moments of heightened tensions. Today's renewed interest signals that great powers are once again seeking to control vital sea routes, oceans, islands, and resources at the top of the world. It's a stark warning of rising tensions and increased competition. Yet, just as his counterparts did in the past, Trump may find that buying the Arctic is not as straightforward as he thinks. Greenland's strategic location and resources could benefit the US. It lies along the shortest route from Europe to North America, vital for the US ballistic missile warning system. The US has expressed interest in expanding its military presence, including placing radars there to monitor the waters between Greenland, Iceland, and Britain, which are a gateway for Russian Navy vessels and nuclear submarines. Greenland, whose capital, Nuuk, is closer to New York than the Danish capital, Copenhagen, boasts mineral, oil, and natural gas wealth, but development has been slow. A 2023 survey showed that 25 of 34 minerals deemed critical raw materials by the European Commission were found in Greenland. They include materials used in batteries such as graphite and lithium, and so-called rare earth elements used in electric vehicles and wind turbines. In recent years, there has been increased interest in Greenland's natural resources, including mining for rare earth minerals, uranium, and iron. Greenland lies on the shortest route from North America to Europe, making it strategically important for the US. It is also home to a large American space facility. But what if Denmark does not transfer Greenland to the United States? Will the United States use the military to take control of the island? Trump could pursue his desire to take over the territory in several ways. Asked earlier in January whether he could rule out using military or economic force, Trump said he could not. His recent comments have shocked the Danish political establishment, sparking hastily organized high-level meetings in Copenhagen earlier last month. While Trump has declined to rule out the use of military or economic means to gain control of Greenland, Vice President J.D. Vance, speaking to Fox News, has dismissed the use of military force. According to Ulrich Pram-Gad, senior researcher and expert on Greenland, the idea of buying Greenland is based on a misunderstanding of international law and the principle of self-determination, which gives people the right to choose their own political status. But what is the current status of Greenland? Greenland, a former colony of Denmark, became a formal territory of Nordic Kingdom in 1953 and is subject to the Danish constitution, meaning that any change in its legal status would require a constitutional amendment. In 2009, Greenland was granted broad self-governing autonomy, including the right to declare independence from Denmark through a referendum. Decades ago, the US under then President Harry Truman sought to buy the island as a strategic asset during the Cold War for $100 million in gold, but Copenhagen declined to sell. Trump also offered to buy it in 2019, but both Greenland and Denmark rejected the proposal. Here, the question arises, what do the people of Greenland want? A majority of Greenland's inhabitants support independence, but they are divided over the timing and potential impact on living standards. Greenlandic politicians have since 2019 repeatedly said they are interested in strengthening cooperation and trade with the United States. However, Greenlandic Prime Minister Mette, who has stepped up a push for independence, has stressed the island is not for sale and that only its people should decide their future. And what is the response of Denmark to the United States now? Trump's 2019 offer to buy island was firmly rejected by Denmark and labeled absurd by Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen. When asked about Trump's renewed interest in January, Frederiksen said Denmark needed to cooperate closely with the US, but stressed that Greenland should determine its future. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for new videos on important international topics.